Well, hello there, ladies and gents, and welcome back to some Battlefield 4. Now, it's been a while since we've been on the old Battlefield, but with the release of the spring patch, why not come back and have a little fun? They have done tons of new things to it, and they've introduced a couple of new guns. Actually, they introduced basically a gun for every class, plus they introduced a side arm, which is the mare's leg, which is kind of weird a little bit, but it kind of works somehow, for me anyway. It kind of makes you feel a bit old school, you know, Western and all that sort of stuff. You think of, well, the last best Western was the great Red Dead Redemption, and it kind of makes you feel a little bit like John Marston, when you're sort of reloading, you're doing the animation. When you're watching somebody reload the animation on it, it just looks really cool. And also a little bit of Terminator at the same time. And also I'm going to talk a little bit about the ARK Survival today. If you don't know what the ARK is, it's a new survival game. There's a video in the description, so you can check that out a little bit and see what it's all about. I managed to get myself into the alpha, but we'll talk about that later on. Now, with the addition of the spring patch, they've introduced some new weapons, which is some of the old favorites. I mean, the AN-94 is there, and it's got an amazing burst fire. The rate of fire on that gun is just unbelievable how good it is, but you will need to use it at longer ranges. That's what it's going to excel, and that's going to be using in your best interest, as it were. They have introduced something for the engineers. They've got introduced the L86, so they've got the mare's leg in there, which is a side weapon. They've got plenty of new cool stuff in there for you to try out and have a bit of fun with, and they pretty much touched on everything. You know, the damage, they changed a lot of things. So Battlefield 4, dare I say, it is fun again. I know it's had its problems back in the day, but we all kind of hope the Battlefield Hardline is going to be something a little bit different than what it turned out to be. I mean, in my eyes, that game is just a flop, and that's that. It never worked because we all knew that that should have been a DLC, and they should have priced it that. But they went a different route, and that's that. That's their business, how they conclude their business, if that makes any sense. But to me, it's barely 1,000-2,000 people playing it on the PC, while Battlefield 4 still has a strong 15 to 30,000 people playing it when you get to the peak times and all that sort of stuff. I mean, on Battlefield Hardline, I looked the other day, and they had a peak at 3,000 people or something. So yeah, that kind of tells you a story about the sort of game a little bit, and what and who and where they've gone wrong, if you will. But as it is, Battlefield 4 is starting to become fun again, and dare I say it, if you haven't picked up Battlefield yet, and it's still something that you didn't get because it was a bit buggy in the beginning, link in description again for G2A. They've got it for like 15 bucks these days, and you can pick up the game and try it yourself and see what you think. And it is something that a lot of people have gotten messages, a lot of people kind of getting back into with their friends. Yeah, some of the old shit is still going to be there, still going to take you an arm and a leg for you, and you'll probably grow a beard before you log in, but hey, it's there, and it's working a lot better, and it's just good the way it is. It's kind of the game that we wanted to have, and if this is an indication that the CTE, and I still think that the CTE was one of the best things that they ever done, because that sort of advice and that sort of feedback was over 9,000. You know, that's something that they really, really needed, and it took that advice and it took the feedback, and they're just making the game better and better. Sure, it might be a bit late for Battlefield 4, not that many people play it. Still, like I mentioned, 30,000 or whatever. But for Battlefield 5 or Bad Company 3, we have much to be hopeful for, because that could be that with all this knowledge now, they knowing what the problems and the issues were, we shouldn't have that at launch. Let us have some faith, eh? And if you're also thinking of getting back into Battlefield 4, keep in mind that they have a community project going on, and that's a community map. It's all sort of ones and zeros for now. It's just a blank canvas. There's not really much going on there. It's still playable in a little bit. It's got that Bad Company 2 feeling to it. There's plenty of what it could be, and I suspect it's going to be lush jungle eventually when the map's going to get released and all that. And that's probably going to be about a month or so. That should be up and running, so we get to play that. And I'm suspecting that that's going to be free. It's going to be a community map, and we get to enjoy that as well. But apart from that, the AN-94, as I mentioned earlier on, it's definitely a great gun to be using. I mean, I've never really been a fan of it, just because lately in sort of the first half of the Battlefield 4 beta and all that sort of stuff, I played most of it on the ground, and then I moved to the Little Bird about when the game got released, or about December or something like that, January. I immediately moved into the Little Bird, and I've not really played it on the ground, so a lot of the new stuff, a lot of the hit detection and all that sort of stuff, things have changed tremendously, and you can see a difference. Yeah, there's still a couple of things here and there, but they've increased the bullets, they've increased what it takes for you to get killed and all that sort of stuff, and it just makes the game a little bit better for you. So definitely excited to see the Battlefield 4 is back, what it should have been a good year and a half ago, whatever. But still, if you're wanting that you and your buddies can get in and have a bit of fun, you can do that, and that's pretty cool. I think I shall be messaging the Trojan to get some little bird action. He'll be flying, I'll be sniping, and we'll get some funny stuff going on, and be plenty more videos coming out with that when that's going to be recorded. Now, the next thing what I want to mention is the ARK Survival. I've mentioned that in the video below, and as I mentioned, there's a link in the description for you to check out and see what the game is all about. That game on paper looks absolutely amazing. It just looks so good that it's not possible for it to just be everything that we wanted in one game. So luckily enough for me, Monday afternoon or Monday evening, depending on the US time zones and all that sort of stuff, they're sort of saying that it's Monday AM when the codes are going to get sent out. So Monday AM for PST time, which is Pacific Standard Time, it just all depends. If it's 9 AM, then it's probably going to be something in the afternoon for us in Europe. As soon as I get the game, I have been granted permission to stream it, and I will make a video to announce you that I'm streaming the game. So if you want to come in and check it out before it gets released, you can do so, and we'll talk about the game a little bit. We'll explore, we'll find out what's good and what's bad, and if it's really as good as it's hyped to be. And I really do hope it's going to be a great game, because the possibilities on that game are really, really endless there, really. You can have a lot of fun, you can have your friends involved, you can have tribes, you can have dinos sort of guarding your body and all that sort of stuff. You can fly dinosaurs, there's all sorts of stuff in there. That really just looks cool on paper, but we just have to see how it plays out, and we'll find that tomorrow on the stream. Like I said, I'll put up a video, I'll tweet, and I'll post it on Facebook. So if you want to check that game out and see what it's all about, then you're more than welcome to come in on the stream, say hello. And that's that, and I'll leave you with this here. This young man here be going on so many million kill streaks or whatever. Not when I'm around, motherfucker. Wreck.